Boom! How's it going? Yeah. Well, if you've never been here before, my name is TJ Taurai Jack, and we talk about anything and everything around property on here. But for some of you, you could be wondering, well, why do we actually talk about property? Pretty simple. That's what I do for a living. And in all of this, I've been trying to find how do I actually find solutions in making sure that I am positively cash flowing. What do I mean by positively cash flowing? I always hear people saying that they can cash flow, but they are cash flowing negatively. And in the future, they are going to cash flow positive. And the word cash flow actually means to flow. And that's one of the things that I've always been trying to figure out. How do you cash flow negatively? You're making a loss. That's what you're doing. But nonetheless, today I just want us to talk about something else that a number of people will not do. And just want to label this conversation to the fact that there are two things that I have seen that people are not doing. And I'm not talking just about general people. I myself included in that boat. I've been in that boat. And I've actually realized that I just went out to a random 100 people that I knew. And I did a quick survey and I realized that 90% of the people were not doing what I'm going to share with you today. And as it is for Christmas, I thought, well, let's me put it together around this Christmas thing because I think it resonates within the Christmas space. What am I talking about? I am talking about two things. What are those two things? As you know, I do property all the time. But the two things that people don't generally do is, number one, they don't learn about the most important things in life. What is the most important things in life? It's two. The most important things in life are generally finances and, well, it's finances, isn't it? Yes, it's finances and family, right? Those are the most key things important. Right now, you could be on a holiday or you potentially going through to see family. And with all of that, there is some form of finance that is going to be needed. I want to tell you a little bit story of my own family. When we get together, we always get together at someone's house, right? It is maybe at my house, maybe at my brother's house, maybe it's an uncle's house or whoever, one of my nieces, cousins, or whatever it is. But the point is that we are meeting somewhere. And when we do meet there, generally there is someone also who is going to contribute. Sometimes we bring in foodie from our house, from someone's house, and we do a buffet at that house. But normally it doesn't happen like that in some other people's houses. As I was doing my investigations, I also realized that in some cases, the others just pitch up. And when they do pitch up, they are empty-handed. But when they leave, their stomachs are no longer empty, they are full. And then the other conversation, when then you've invited them, for some of them, they don't bring their own poison. It is that time of the year when we talk about our poison. What is that poison? It is the liquor, the chwala, isn't it? Yeah, the liquor. Yes, that's what it's all about. So you bring in family and friends, and there's a little bit of dope and a chop that's one is having there. But someone needs to provide for all of that. That's the bottom line here. And I want to talk to those two things a little bit because it was an area that I was lacking myself, and it's still an area that I am working hard in my own personal space. What do I mean by that? Number one, we don't talk about finances within our own families and within the space that we're in. We don't. And for that reasons, when we start going to work and when we start getting a job, we just do what we think is right. Or we just do because I was reading this magazine, so it told me. And for that reason, we make a whole lot of mistakes that are not supposed to be made. The button of what my father knows, well, for me, this case here, my father doesn't really apply because my father was never there. But I also know that of the 100 people that I interviewed, or should I say that I spoke to, about 70% of them, they have no fathers as well. So who's passing on the baton of what is it that you should be doing in finances? In a lot of cases, it's either grandmothers or it is either single mothers, right? And in that case, then what happens? They're going to teach you what they know. Is what they know the correct one? Is there a correct way? I don't know. But the bottom line here is that at the end of the day, You cannot win family with no finances. I think that's what I want to say here. You can't win the family game if you don't have finances. We have seen broken families potentially, I'm not talking about being successful, driving the Vrupas, having a house in the mansion. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just putting food on the table, putting decent clothes on the table, on the back of anyone else that we are living with, whoever that we call family. Because I've also seen with the 100 people that I interviewed, family is so distorted in terms of what do we call family? Is it my brother? Is it my uncle? For me, I've always said I grew up with an older brother. We're not anywhere biologically related. However, we grew up together and he's my brother. And I've also seen that quite a lot of people are in a similar position. They've got someone within their family. Hey, TJ, why are you talking about all of this today? It's very simple, guys. I've always said if you have to know me for anything, it's not about property. Property, it's a vehicle, but it's about families. It's about growing strong families. That's what it's for me. And it's about having options. If you've got options in your life, then anything else kind of like follows through because you've got options. But guess what? We don't have options because we don't have the money. That's the problem. So how best can we solve the problem of money? In my view, solving the problem of money is, you all know me, I've been doing property for a while, and I have started actually teaching other people. We've been teaching other people for the last 2.5 years, and other people have been successful. So why then are we talking about this today? Very simple. If people don't generally do these two things, which is learning about finances and learning about families, then what are we building? We're potentially building a no family at all. That's what it means in this case, right? But I also want to stress out the fact that if you're in that space, right, how then do you wiggle out to start learning? I started learning how to be a better father. So I reached out to a couple of coaches, and now I have my own coach that really teaches me how to be a better father. There's a program that I'm learning and all of those nice things. But I also want to come back to the fact that at the moment, right, for a lot of people, they are in a space when they are meeting somewhere at someone's house during this season of Christmas, and it's potentially at a house, someone's house. Someone has provided for that house. And for me at M5 Real Estate, at M5 Property Addicts, we provide housing for many people across the country. And a lot of people are going to be meeting in those houses to create their own family vibes. Now, how best can you also create that? Because it is not far-fetched. About 5 years ago, I didn't know exactly how to do this. You could be in that position, or potentially you might know someone else who's in this position, who's wanting to be in the property space, but they actually just don't know how to start. Well, look no further. My team and I, we have come up with a product that we are literally giving out for you for free. I think it is for free. But for 1,500 Rand, you can jump in, you can get the course, you can get full access of M5 Property Addicts. And in there, you can learn how to create a housing for other people. People who always be meeting at a place. People who always want to stay somewhere. And this is your opportunity to do it. You don't have to start to where I am, which is investing in big blocks of flats. No, you can start in a 2-bed, 1-bath, just like what I did. Because back in the days, that's exactly how I started. I call that learning fast, right? And growing fast. Learn fast, start small, and grow fast, right? But I also want to stress to the fact that now that you've got this game here, you understand how to master property. What is the next step? The next step is that cash flow doesn't become a problem anymore. Now, I'm going to tell you a secret here. Right now, wherever you are, and you got family that are coming through, and I want you to go out and buy a crate of Nando's, a crate of liquor, a crate of what, and tell me how the people are going to react to you. They're going to love you. I'm telling you that. I'm just saying that experience the effects of having options. Hey, man, you don't need to cook today or you don't need to bake. We are going to hook up a Woolies cake. That won't work in my house because my mommy likes to cook. She just wants to keep busy for free. So that won't work in my house. But the point here that I'm talking to here, guys, is basic things. If you learn how to manage the finances, then the family follows, right? And that's what I'm learning. I'm on that journey, and I'm inviting you actually to be learning with me whilst you are riding on a vehicle, and that vehicle is the property vehicle. So property is just one vehicle. You can do it in many ways, but property is that one vehicle. I've been talking to a couple of people, and some of the vehicles, again, in property, there's so many of them. A lot of people, you might be right now, holiday, potentially at an Airbnb. That's another vehicle in the property space. A lot of kids are back home right now from school, but whilst they were at school, they were actually staying at someone's house as student accommodation. That's another vehicle. And these courses is what you get on a full access. For only 1,500, you get the full access in the Varsity, and you can learn this. You potentially have downtime right now. You potentially have downtime. Last year, I took a gap, a break between end of November and January. And what I did, I actually went out and I wrote a book. And this is the book that I wrote, which is called From Bed Day to Property Mogul. You are also going to get this book. Part of your 1,500, you will get this book over and above the full access to the Varsity. This book here will be coming through to your doorstep delivered. I wish I was going to say hand delivered by me, but it will be delivered to you. So how do you get started? In the link below, you need to click on it. In the link below, you click on it, and thereafter, boom, you get your access to the Varsity. From there on, you start learning. This year, next year, we'll be having a different conversations with how you are providing housing for other people. But not only that, how you are also having options because you have the cash flow. I said, that's what I said. I said, you got the cash flow. When you got the cash flow, you got the options. Cash flow doesn't mean that you got millions. Even if you got 100 Rand, even if you got 1,000 Rand, it's still cash flow. It's your cash flow. You decide what you do with it. My name is TJ. It's been great hanging out with you this morning, but I want you guys to take this seriously. And if you can copy paste this to your page so that we can get to as many people so that they can get this present. It is a present from me to you, but it can be a present to many people. You can buy it for someone else. You can buy for yourself. And all it is a present. I have seen some adverts of late coming up on TV of cologne and whatnot. I'm like, you spray this, it's gone. You buy 1,500, education for life. It might even change the course of your generation. You might have not even come from a rich family, but by just having this on your table, in your family, it might change the course of generations. For people that are going to come, they will love you, they will remember you for what you have done. And it's really up to you. I'm on the journey already. Cheers. We'll chat with you later. Bye.